We are live, everybody. Welcome back to the Diaspora channel, and thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys are doing well, and if it's your first time here, I hope you are well too. Thanks so much for tuning in, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the all bell notifications so you can be notified each time I go live or upload a new video. And as you guys can see, we have a very special guest with us tonight. And his name is Oshay Dukes Jackson. I'm just giving it to you fully, yes. So bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue sur Diaspora Channel. J'espère que vous allez tous bien. Et ce soir, on a un invité vraiment spécial avec nous, un frère américain, comme on le dit souvent, qui actuellement, il fait plein de choses en Ouganda et puis Kenya. Donc, il a sa chaîne YouTube qui s'appelle Kenganda. So, ce que je vais faire, je vais mettre le lien dans la boîte de description. Comme ça, vous pouvez aussi vous abonner sur sa chaîne YouTube et en savoir plus ce qu'il fait en Ouganda. Voilà. Donc, likez ce live et puis partagez. Welcome, Oshay. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing so fine. And thanks so much for joining us here tonight. So I would like you to introduce yourself to the viewers and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my YouTube name is the Oshay Dukes Jackson. I operate, I would say now, two main channels. One is more dedicated to the African American issues that revolve around African American men, whether that's in around dating or just what's going on in the culture. But I also operate the Kenganda YouTube channel, which is located in Kampala, Uganda. And that channel is more oriented towards the African diaspora, very similar to what your channel does. And we talk about some of the similar things you talk about, where it's business related, some of the things are relationship related, but it's typically trying to build a bridge between the African diaspora and to the continental African community through the various topics I talked about.
Right. So you've been traveling to the continent for some time now. So I think you've been through to like maybe 4 or 5 countries so far. I'd just like you to share with us what motivated you, because you were born and raised in the States. So what motivated you to start traveling to Africa?
Well, a guy from my city, I was doing pretty good on YouTube at this time, and to kind of go back, I've always had an interest in like neo-colonialism history. I was kind of a history buff. I kind of knew about Sani Abacha, Nigeria. I knew about the Biafra War. I kind of studied something on my own. I was interested just history of Liberia. So just already I had some sort of an interest, not an interest to necessarily say study. I mean, to go to Africa, but I liked talking about it.
Right.
And I liked neo-colonialism was something I liked a lot. It was a topic that I thought it was very interesting.
Okay.
But then I got a message one day from Dynasty Amir. And Dynasty Amir, we're both from Sacramento. He's a year younger than me. We went to the same high school. It just so happened to be the year he was coming into the high school I was leaving. But we're from the same area, and he's one of the better athletes that ever came out of our city. So his former name is Albert Hollis. So when I knew him, I said, "This is Albert Hollis." And he's like, "Yeah, this is me." So he said he knew of me that from we both met in person before, but I saw what he was doing, and he was a YouTuber that was at the time like not that many subscribers, but we started working together and stuff like that, and I was amazed. He really inspired me to take my first trip, because he's a guy from my city, and California is not. There's some states that are more dominated with African Americans, like Mississippi or Maryland or DC or Tennessee or Alabama. California is not a place where a lot of blacks are at. no, there's enough, but it's not, like a really, really black place. So to see a brother that was from California, which is
Mm,
not, a big, black population, and then doing what he was doing was amazing
mhm,
from our city. So I said, well, if he went, I have to go too. And then he said, like, a lot of people will go to France, they would go to
mhm,
UK, they would go to China, they would never go to Africa.
mm.
So I took him up on that offer, and then once I did go, you know, it changed my life for the better. So I'm always grateful for him for inspiring me just to take a trip. So and it's been like 13 or 14 different times now that I've been.
Oh, wow. So, I know for now, Uganda is like your base. Let's put it like
Yes,
that.
I
So
love
why did
Uganda.
you choose Uganda specifically? Because you've been to different countries, I believe South Africa,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Kenya, so why did what is that thing that make you say, this is the place I want to start invest in? Because I know you have some investment, on the ground that we'll be
Mm,
touching on a little
mm,
bit later.
mhm.
So yeah, share with us why Uganda?
Well, okay, so most people that are from the community that I'm from, if they were to relocate, you would usually find them in Ghana, and that was the safe bet. But when I was going to Uganda, I
Mm-hmm,
noticed that when I was there, I couldn't get a whole lot of information on it from a perspective like somebody like mine.
mm-hmm,
So and when I got there, I mean, I was like, wow, this country is rather big. It's 40 million people. People were very nice. It was a huge nighttime scene, party scene. It was really good. A lot of nice things to do. And I thought to myself, and I actually really felt comfortable. I actually waited until I went to another place. I went to South Africa. It was okay. I went to Kenya. It was also okay. But it wasn't like Uganda to me. And Uganda just
right.
had a better feel. It was more, I don't know. It feels more Africa, I would say, in what I can compare to the other places. So I said, well, there's not a lot of stuff about Uganda. It was a challenge. So why not try to do something here? And when I was telling other people that I was
Mm,
going to maybe try to pull something off there, they would say, well, why not Johannesburg? And why not Nairobi? And why not
mm,
Accra? And I
mm.
honestly believe that those places didn't really need me. Um,
Right.
not that Kampala did, but I thought that Kampala would appreciate, or Uganda would appreciate more of what I could probably bring to the table. I didn't think I had a lot to
Mm,
offer those other places as much as I would have to offer that. So that was one of the things I felt like I could kind of, work with people. People could work with me, and we could see what we can do. Yeah, and it kind of exposed the place more.
excellent. Because I like the fact that you specifically choose to, do whatever you really want to do in Uganda and say certain countries don't really need you.
Mm.
So, because most of the time I say this on this platform, encourage, the brothers and sisters that want to relocate to Africa or even simply just invest, not to just go to certain countries that everyone is talking, people are
Yeah.
talking about, simply because, I believe the competition will be too much.
Hmm.
So have open mind to visit other countries. So what do you have to say, on that?
I, I think I think that's the great point because let's be honest, and I hate to say this, but obviously, a lot of people that came from the African American community that went to Ghana, I
Mm,
heard that not all the time, but I heard that there
mm,
was some issues that
mm,
were happening in that community between African Americans, and
mm,
so it was something for me that I felt like, well, I didn't want to go to a place where I would be comfortable with being there, and
right.
might not want to go out and venture off because okay, there's 5,000 of our people there, so then I can kind of be like here, and I might not want to go out and delve into unknown waters. So that was also something that I wanted to stay away from. I wanted to push myself. So Uganda was something I didn't hear a lot of people about. And then one of the things is, I was kind of popular as a YouTuber when I would show up to like Brazil, or if I show up, people would know me. And I really didn't like that so much. Uganda, nobody knew me. People know me now. But I liked being able to go and no one knew who I was. So that's changed, but because everybody knows me now. But a lot of people know me now. But I wanted to be able to go somewhere and be able to operate without, any previous problems or any previous infrastructure that somebody else has set up that was an issue. And Uganda allowed me to do that.
That's awesome. So for the brothers and sisters here that already make up their mind and they want to go to Uganda, what can you share with them?
I mean, are we talking about going to visit, or are we talking about like this?
When it comes to going to visit and also relocating, because some people, they just want to go there, maybe for 2-3 weeks on vacation, just to have fun, good time, interact with the people, and then go back to, if it's Europe or the States, that's it, done. So for those ones, that's the first category, the first group. But those that want to actually go and settle down in Uganda, I want you to share things that will help them, because what I love doing here, when I have brothers and sisters from the diaspora that actually based on the continent now or travel a lot like yourself, I always want them to share the experiences, when it comes to certain things that people need to know, because we have to be real. When it comes to cultural shock, is something that is affecting some of our people. So it's always good for them to know a little bit about different countries before actually going there. So let's start with those that want to really just to visit.
Okay, so now we're in coronavirus time. I was in Kenya 7 weeks ago. So what I would say right now, obviously, for some people, vaccinations and some people don't like them, but definitely you're gonna need yellow fever.
Right.
Usually I don't know if you can bribe people to get away from that, but I would say you need yellow fever. Then you also need a coronavirus negative examination within 72 hours to go into Uganda. Kenya is 96 hours. All right. So let's say, for example, if you want to go to Uganda on, Thursday, you need to be able to, maybe take that test on Monday if you can get it back on Wednesday or Tuesday, because you're definitely not gonna get in the country without that.
Right.
Now, also on the way out, they're also going to make you test again, okay, in Uganda, and it takes 24 hours. There's Case Hospital. So add that into your budget. That's going to be a little bit more expensive now. You're going to have to do that.
Okay.
So now that you got that taken care of, there's some, when you go into Uganda, there's some things that I probably want to, so that you're going to probably want to take with you. You're going to want to take, you have to take your power banks, because if you happen to live in a certain place and there's no generator, power shuts off, and you don't know how long that's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always stayed at Leonia Apartments in Bukoto. They're pretty good. I stayed there the whole entire time until I recently moved. You could stay there for, I think there's like $50 a month, but if you want to stay there a whole month with like one bedroom, it's like $800. It's really good.
Okay.
Fiber internet, fully furnished. It's really nice. Bukoto is right there in town. It's one of the better areas. You get everything you need there. That'd be good. So you're gonna need that. Now, also the traffic in Uganda is quite terrible. So to get around, it took me a long time. I use the motorcycles, the bodas. Everybody doesn't like those. I do. Now, in comparisons, Kenya, which is 96 hours to get in, you don't need yellow fever.
Okay.
And then to get out of Kenya, I don't know if you need, definitely to do a coronavirus test in Kenya, it's a 48-hour window. So let's say, for example, that you need to leave in, the 19th. You need to take that coronavirus test on the 16th. And the reason why is because it takes 48 hours to get it back. And I missed a flight because of that. Because I was thinking, like, why didn't get it back to me in 24 hours? They don't, right? So I went to Aga Khan. So you want to make sure you take that in consideration. But, those are the staple things that you do need. I would probably avoid taking your best cell phone, to Uganda because, people, like, if you're not careful, you're walking down the street, you might not want to have your phone out. Somebody could, unfortunately take it from you. You could put some money on the mobile money phone instead of carrying a lot of cash. I probably wouldn't recommend doing that either. So, but other than that, there are a lot of things to see. Tour companies. If you guys need any of those things, you could contact me. I know people that could help you with that. But you have a really good time, in Uganda. But those are things you need to get in and out of the country.
Okay. When it comes to the healthcare system, can you give us some, advice when it comes to that? Because sometimes people ask, okay, they know how things works on this side. When I go to Togo, for example, what should I expect when it comes to, going to the dentist or hospital, things like that? I say, we have pretty much everything there, and even the cost is much, you pay less if you're going to a private clinic, for example, for a treatment, you actually pay less because I have to, life happens, I have to run some tests here. And then at that time I was going back home as well, so I say, well, when I go there I can just go and see this specific specialist. And he ended up doing, it was a 24 hours heart rate thing he's supposed to perform on me, just to see about my heart rates, how things are working on 24 hours time. So everything was done. The result was same. I came back, did the same thing. Result was same. I paid less than like £20 to do that test, but I won't pay that here if I have to go private and do that. So, what is the healthcare system like in Uganda?
I mean, I went to number one, I got my teeth cleaned at Bandari Dental Clinic. It was really good, and then Kingo Batunda also got his done there. I recommended him. But there are several hospitals. I mean, obviously, the healthcare system, if you want to talk about being intricate, it's not like Kenya, like Nairobi, where you have Aga Khan and you have, many different specializations, like a neurology hospital, neurology clinic. That's not in Kampala. So, if you're looking for things like orthopedic surgery, it's probably like 3 of those in the whole entire country. So if you have things like that you need to do, you probably don't want to go there. But I would say if you have, like general surgery, things like that, that can be done. If you have, things that are a little bit more intricate, you probably get done in Kenya. So as far as the healthcare system is concerned, because Aga Khan, which is a hospital school in Pakistan, has more infrastructure. And in Kenya also has, I hate to say this, but they have more whites that have been living there over the years that have stayed there, and more wealth in Nairobi or in Kenya. So they have a much bigger advantage. Then, and the streets are better. You don't have to worry about the traffic isn't bad. So the healthcare system is way better than Kenya than it is in Uganda. But most normal things you can get done. But if it's something that's intricate and you might not, might not use you Kampala for that. But teeth cleaning, things like that, yes. Malaria, definitely. In my opinion, because I was there and I went to the GPE a few times and got what I needed to get, and it was fine.
Okay, so that's from Blackmail TV. Guys, I just put the link in the chat. We'll be open the line for 5 minutes. So if you have any question, you want to ask Oshay directly, that's why he's here, So call in. We're going to keep it nice and short. So feel free to call in. So yeah, Blackmail TV say which country is more open, Uganda or Kenya, and what would be the difference for you?
Oh yeah, I think maybe I might have answered that already, but definitely
Yeah,
Kenya
exclusive.
has um
Mm,
secondary, tertiary, because Kenya you have Nairobi, then there's Mombasa, then there's Kisumu, then there's Nakuru, and Kenya is way more developed, than Uganda. Kampala, you just have Kampala, and then there's no second or third, really city that's can like Mombasa. So the roads are much better in Kenya. There's much more. Kenya has a new tech city coming out. That's really really doing very well.
mm,
Uganda has unfortunately had a lot of military coups over the years, and so they haven't had the progression that Kenya's had or Tanzania's had because they've never had a hostile takeover of the government. I think Uganda's had maybe 2 or 3. So unfortunately, that stops progress. But Uganda is catching up. Like I wasn't able to do what I was able to do now in 2017 because the infrastructure wasn't there. But it is getting better. That's one thing that's for sure. It's getting better.
Okay, awesome. We have the Blackmail TV here now. So welcome, guys. How are you?
Oh, my good. Thank you. Hey, Kylie, how are you?
How you doing, Oshay? What's going on?
How you doing?
Thanks so much for coming. Oshay is here. He's all yours now. So throw your question at him. We have, five more minutes, let's say. So yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind, Oshay, I'm a big fan, bro. Just say I love your work. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be following you on YouTube, and I'll keep following on YouTube. And that Kevin Samuels video you did was hella funny. That's
oh, thank you, man. Where you from? Are you from the UK?
Yeah, the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be watching you over here. We'll be watching Kenganda in the UK too, bro. I will be sharing it out too as well.
Oh, wow. I am so happy to hear that.
You know what I'm saying? But if you don't mind, I've got 2 quick questions to ask you,
sure.
right?
Sure.
One is for our community, right? So we support Black businesses, and what we do is we provide online business consulting services for small Black businesses, coming up to help them with their online presence.
Yeah.
So for the community, I wanted to ask, we're trying to get some of them want to be on YouTube, and obviously, so I wanted to say for someone like you who's already been on YouTube, you see what I'm saying, who's got a presence, what kind of advice would you give the community, when they're trying to bring their business or their presence onto YouTube? So something for the community. And the second question, which is a bit more, in depth, but take your time. You've obviously successfully made the crossover, right? So what I would like to ask is, what suggestions or strategies, rather, would you suggest that may help other people who are looking to do what you have done and are looking for opportunity and growth in Africa?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. No, those are very, very good questions. So for the first,
no rush.
Yeah. He gonna make me think today. So, so for the first one, I think we talked to Kate earlier offline about something was similar. If you're a person and you're on YouTube and you're trying to create content about a business. And let's just be honest, business content is the hardest thing to do on YouTube. That's why it has the highest CPM. And then obviously in the Black sector, it is it's also very difficult. But before I answer, I would say, can you give me an idea of like what kind of business is this?
I mean, we've got a whole bunch of people, but I mean, just off the top of my head, we've got someone like she does head wraps.
Okay.
And she wants to go on, so or maybe a baker, or some people like things like that.
Okay. So if a person has something that they want to sell, then what happens is that you just can't come on to YouTube and just say, I want to sell this, right? Because you create content, it's about adding value. So if I have a person that sells head wraps, let's just say I'm going to try to, this is how I would style a head wrap with this outfit or with something like that.
Right.
you know, I would probably, yeah, I would probably approach it with, you know, my personality. You know, if I was a lady and this is me doing a try on, and then I would try to use my platform to leverage other creators that also have products. So if you're a person that has shoes, or if you're a person that has stockings, I don't know, I'm just, you know, things like that. I would try to, you know, do collaborations with those people. Right. And I would try to create, you know, something with, let's just say, if you are a woman that wants to have more of a Pan African head wrap, or if you're a person that wants to you wear it with this or something like that, I would try to. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard because I'm a man, right? But that's my thinking. My thinking is I'm looking to see. I'm not putting my needs there because I know I want to make a sell these head wraps, but I'm thinking about what does a consumer, what would they want? Right. And what they're looking for is, if I'm looking to subscribe to your channel, then I want, if I like head wraps or things like that, I want to enhance my beauty. And I need tips to enhance my beauty with what you're doing. And I need you to prove to me that you're an expert in this, what you're talking about. So once you can prove to me that you're an expert and that you have, you know, content, you know, it's good, sounds good, and the editing is decent and stuff like that, and you're consistent, then now I don't have a problem buying that, because even I like you as a person because your personality is good, right? So I would try to build a community around all that encompasses from me to the content creators to anybody. So if a person is lipstick, a person is makeup, I'm looking to collaborate with all of those people that bring that whole community, that all that systematic that runs that engine around my content to make my content as vast as possible. Because the more value that I can bring, then I can sell. Right. If I just have, you know, a course and all my content is about buy this course, buy this course, buy this course, then nobody's going to buy this course. So number one, I look desperate and there's no value in it. And it might be the best course in the world. But I want to build value and community around. I might even build about how much money you can sell with this. I would expand the strategy around everything. Okay. Then I position my wraps later. And the whole point, I'm not even worried about selling the wraps first. I'm looking to prove that I'm an authority on this topic. And I don't know how long it takes me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll pitch myself. I would try to pitch it at the beginning of the video. Check out the free, you know, when the video starts or something like that, you know, and then maybe at the end. But I'm not going to make that the most focus of the video. I'm going to make the more focus of it is what's in the video and the content. And I'm trying to make my strategy real broad and include everybody into there so that they can recommend their following to me. I can recommend my following to them. And, you know, from everybody that does makeup to hair, even hair, right? That's just something important. So if you can, I'm trying to coagulate all of that into my concept as a strategy. I want to make my strategy as broad as I can. And then come back to what I'm doing. Right? So that's the first thing. And the second thing you said was, the other question was, what was it again?
Strategies for investment and growth for diasporans moving to Africa.
Okay, investments in growth in diasporans moving to Africa. That's a very good question. So, I hope I'm not being too long-winded, but
keep going.
If the person is,
and I hope people that are content creators in the chat or that watch this later, you know, you are making some notes, you're taking notes because, you know, Oshay has been doing this for a while now. So thanks, Oshay, for sharing what you just shared about the content creating art. So I'll let you carry on with the next question.
So if it's about what I'm doing in Africa, so the first thing I was telling anybody is, okay, because some people are confused. I don't know if I like the Gambia. I don't know if I like Ghana. I don't know if I like Tanzania. Because, you know, most of us were viewing, you know, Bag in Gambia. You know, you see me and Kingo Tuna in Uganda. You see Dynasty in Sierra Leone. So it's like all these different places. It looks cool. So you don't really know. But unfortunately, you need to make a decision. based on, and if you're a content creator, what do you make that decision based on? Well, you make that decision based on, do they have infrastructure for me to, number one, can I upload videos rather fast, because internet is expensive in a lot of African countries, unfortunately, right? Especially if you're talking about West Africa. So and then also is, do they have enough talent there that I could hire somebody that can do some editing work? And that's been my biggest success, because production of content is what has taken me from like making okay money to making like, oh, I'm all right money now, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, is there fiber where I'm going to be at? If I see a country and I can't find fiber there as a content creator, that means that I'm gonna have a hard time streaming. That means I'm gonna have a hard time sending files outside of Google Drive. That means I'm gonna have some difficult times. I'm probably not gonna want to go there. So I do know there's Kenya. I do know that there's Uganda is certain parts. So I'm looking for who has the infrastructure. And I'm looking for also how many video schools are there that guys can edit, guys can shoot video, guys can help up my quality. Because if I'm going to move to Africa, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that you have guys there that can do this, right?
The labor force, right?
So I'm not going to go to Africa and I'm going to be just like on my camera phone. It defeats the purpose. I'm going to use that skill set that they have to make my life easier. That's the reason why I'm going. So I'm looking for, do you have the internet? And then where can I find a person that I can hire?
Yes.
Once I figured out I can have a person that I can hire. Are we talking about just YouTube or just anything?
Whichever way you want, anything.
Okay.
Stick with YouTube for now. You can go down there.
If it's YouTube, I might not know the language, but I know the business. But let's just say if it's anything, then it's going to be quite difficult if a person is coming to anywhere in Africa let's say if you've been doing something all your life, you're a fashion designer, and all of a sudden you don't want to do fashion design anymore, and now you're going to become poultry farmer. Well, and you're depending on poultry farming to be your main income. Unfortunately, poultry farming is lucrative, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be lucrative for you, because now you need to learn the ins and outs of the business.
Yeah.
It was too much of a risk for me. I would say, where can I go that has the infrastructure that I can do what I've been already doing, and I can teach somebody else what I'm doing, not learn from somebody else. Like, I need to teach what I'm doing to somebody else. And then if I can't do that, then I'm going to stay wherever I'm at, and I'm going to learn something to where I can go, and either where I'm getting paid, whether it's Bitcoin or something like that. But if it's in Africa, I have to have the advantage in something.
Yes.
I can't go to Africa and not have the advantage in something, because the likelihood is I'm going to fail. If I'm going to the continent, I have to have absolute advantage.
Yes.
For example, there's a guy that's from Sacramento that has the biggest record label. He's in Uganda now. It's called Black Market Records, Cedric Singleton. It's a Black Market also in London too. I don't know if you ever heard of him before.
Yeah, I know Black Market. I think was in Uganda.
Yeah. So he's actually in Uganda, same Black Market guy.
Right.
But he's from Sacramento. When I was a little boy, he used to live across the street from me. That's how I know him. This is 1986. So he's been in the business for 31 years. So obviously, he comes to Uganda or any place, he has a big advantage. He doesn't speak Luganda and he doesn't know how to get around, but he doesn't need it. No, he knows that business and he can teach you how to do it. And that's the advantage. So you have to have some sort of expertise. If you don't have it, then you don't work to Africa to find it. Because what happens is when you get to Africa, the biggest problem that you should have is just, how do they do business here?
Yes.
That's the one problem you want to solve. Like, okay, so they do things like this. It's kind of hard for me to get to see how they do things. Like Woden Mai, he called me the other day, and he said when he came back from China, he wasn't used to how things worked, but he still knew how YouTube worked. He don't know how to get money. He don't know how to do things. You don't want to be in Africa and you don't know how things work and you don't know how to do something. So the thing is, you should be trying to take what you're doing and then go there. If it's YouTube, then you need to take the opportunity to expand, because it's lucrative if you can go to Africa and you can set up shop and you can make videos outside. It's big money. Like, look at Go Black to Africa right now. He's just using his cell phone and he's killing it right now because he's around, right? So if a person can say, well, I have this.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. But I'm sure, he covered a lot when it comes to
he did.
questions and everyone. Awesome. And everyone in the stream, that, like I said, that content creators, you guys are taking note as well. Is very important. It's all about us learning from people that have been doing whatever we are doing for a long time, so we can get better and do it very well. Whether in the business field, when you have have business owners here, is for the main, the same reason. So them, you support them, but you can also learn from them. So hopefully, Oshay will tune in back. But if not, for those of you that don't know about his platform, Kenganda, I will be adding the link in the description box. And there is one question here for him, but I don't know if he come back, you answer that. If not, follow him on Instagram. Is same again, Kenganda. I'll put those two link in the description box, so you can keep eye on what Oshay is doing on the continent. So Oshay, the last question from the chat.
Can I answer there still?
Oh yeah. If you have anything to add.
Yeah. Sorry, it cut me off. So for example, I knew YouTube. I don't know Uganda. I don't know a lot of stuff about Uganda I didn't know. And to be frankly, not that I didn't care, but I mean, it wasn't like I did care, but that wasn't while I was there. I figured that stuff out later.
Right.
The thing is, like, if you're a person that is an employee and you worked in the West, then when you come to Africa, the biggest change that you have to do is now you're a person. Can you develop systems and can you train people, and then can you give them time to catch up? Because you're going to be paying people, they're going to be losing money, they're going to be messing up and really bad and not get things. And it's different because you understand what you're doing, but then they don't. So then you need time for people to. And then you have to measure your wins and successes, not all the time in money. Maybe you don't measure it in money. Maybe you don't measure it in, say, from YouTube, if it's views. Maybe you measure it that the person now, something that took them a task that was 5 hours, it took them now 3. It now took them 2. So you can measure success in behaviors and in the business without maybe money. And so that's the hardest part from a person that when you come to Africa, now you're the person that you put the credo together, you put the system together, you train the people, you hire the people, you discipline, you coach. So that's the biggest hurdle because this is all your job now. This is what you do. You're the person that has to train and develop people because they don't know the vision. You have to understand. You have to pick the people to explain it. Maybe you get somebody to help you.
You're the boss in a sense.
Yes, there are companies that offer that kind of stuff. Sure, but this is the skill that you have to develop before you now get there. Because a lot of African Americans get there and be like, well, because I'm from Britain or I'm from America, I automatically come from a country. I know automatically how to train people because he's from Africa. It doesn't work like that way. It doesn't mean anything.
Thanks for highlighting that.
That doesn't mean anything. It just means that you just happen to be from America, but that doesn't mean that you know how to. Because I've had professors that were brilliant PhDs in chemistry, but they just couldn't teach. They understood it, but they just couldn't break it down, right? So that's the biggest hurdle for you is because you have these people, and then you have to develop the system so that it can be successful. Which and the systems are very intricate. There's a lot of moving parts in that system, and then you simplify it, and then you make it more. More complex as things go along, and then you have to come back and you meet, and then you try to, measure the goals again, and then you come back and you meet again, and then you come back and then you meet again, and then you come back and then you meet again, and then you come back and you meet again, and you're losing money the whole time because you're losing all this time. You don't.
I remember you saying that. I remember when you said it on your shows, right?
You lose the money the whole entire time. So, and then they don't do the job that you're doing. The power's going out. and then you have to develop a system. Well, how do I be more efficient when I have, because in the UK, power's not going out. But now you're in Africa and you might be you're operating maybe at 80% efficiency now. So now you need to be able to make up for, I need to have 100% efficiency with maybe 80% power or 70% power.
Yes.
So do I have somebody else live on a different side of town that works for me and not all in the same place, so that if the power goes out, then maybe the power doesn't go out there?
Right.
So I mean, these are all things that you get when you're on the ground, but these are things and tricks you put into the system. So that's the thing, that you have to be the person that be able to train and develop. That's the skill that you're gonna need to know or be aware of. If you don't have it, then okay, I can kind of get it. And then, but you do need to know the business you're gonna be in. Like YouTube, I know that. I know how to get views. I know how to get things across in any genre, I think. So that was my gift. But to teach other people, because all our editors have same intros, outros, Celebrity Junk. You don't know who edit one of those unless I say their name in the video, because all of them can edit the whole thing. Dusty News can edit the whole thing. Kenganda News, the whole thing. All my things I push, everybody can edit every one of those. But it took them months to do that.
Okay.
So that's the thing, is that you need to, wherever you're doing it, you have this plan that over time, that this system that everybody should be able to do all the stuff proficiency. Some get it faster than others, but you have to train them. And then once they can kind of get it, then you can you're freed up, you can do other things. But then usually you're in the first 1 or 2 years, you're kind of tied up, unless you're really lucky. You're in the trenches and you're losing money in the trenches, and it sucks. It's not fun.
Right. No, I really appreciate that advice, bro, because we were looking at doing something like that in terms of editing and working with some of the African youth and giving them the opportunity to train up and be able to come employ for themselves, or even get jobs for themselves within the social media sphere. So that information that you just given me, I've written it down. I'm going to be taking that, packaging it up, and putting it into my strategies going forward, in what we're going to do. So no, I appreciate that. That's amazing.
Yeah. If you ever email me at planetoshay@gmail, just tell me who you were. I just subscribed to your channel, man. So I would love to
appreciate that.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Yeah, I just subscribed. So
what's the email? What did you say the email was?
It's you can email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. Just put your name in the title, and then the subject.
Right. I already appreciate that, bro.
No problem.
Awesome. So we have the last question here, which is from Amele. She's asking, are you interested into visiting Francophone countries?
Yeah. One of my good friends that is here.
Okay.
Let me say this, and this is no offense, but okay. A lot of countries, let's say for like Togo or let's say Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast, if you look at what Ivory Coast has to offer, it probably beats Ghana a lot of different things. They just don't get the love because Ivory Coast is francophone. It's people can't speak English now. I was considering moving what we had to Ivory Coast because they had orange fiber was there in Abidjan, but I just it was going to be hard to do that. But definitely, I think that a lot of francophone countries are good now, especially Ivory Coast. I don't know a lot about Mali. I'm now hearing about Burkina Faso now because of the figures there. Yeah, but I've done most of my traveling in the. I went to Tanzania, and Tanzania was like all Swahili. It wasn't really a lot of English speaking there. But yeah, I would definitely do it.
That's great. So you guys are all invited in French-speaking countries. Togo, the beautiful thing is once you are in Togo, for example, you can visit Benin Republic, which is another French-speaking country, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast. Yeah, so, just go visit, have a feel, know the people. And, even if you be like a holiday destination for you, why not? Just give it a try and, less competition. See what you can do there. You don't have to necessarily live there, but you can do some businesses out there. So it's all about us teaching one another how we can do things and make the transition very, very easy for the brothers and sisters that don't have no connection on the continent. So, Oshay, any last word you want to say before we end the stream?
Yeah, I really, really thank you for allowing me to, come on to your platform. I told you I wasn't going to curse and I didn't, so I'm thankful for that. I'm a big fan of the African Unite Force channel. I don't know if she knows it or not, but you you really don't give a damn about how anybody feels. So I think she's gonna go far in YouTube. She's a very, very talented YouTuber. So I'm looking forward to working with her. And also I really appreciate the fact that you take time out of your schedule to do this, to support this kind of content, which is doesn't get a lot of views and it doesn't get a lot of clicks, but it is needed. And I like to try to share what it is that that I've done, or what I'm trying to do. I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers, but I will also tell people that one of the things that you can do is, if you're using Airbnb on your first trip to Africa or wherever you're at, a lot of times the connection into a lot of things are Airbnb owners. And a lot of people take Airbnb owners for granted, especially if you're staying in a really nice place. That Airbnb owner usually is very rich, very professional, because Airbnb, obviously there's a standard that they have to go by to be on Airbnb, right? So they have to have a certain level of cleanliness, a certain level of customer service, and they have to have a certain level of integrity. So a lot of times you can ask your Airbnb owner questions. If they'll definitely respond because they want to get a good review. You can ask them things about what to do, how to do things, where can they connect you to people, and they're probably going to be more inclined to do it because they're going to want to get a better review. They're not going to tell you no, right? So you could use that to your advantage. You're already renting their space, and a lot of times you don't look at the Airbnb owner as a person. That person is probably a professional. Person is probably very, very rich. And that person is your first connection to who can pick you up from the airport. That person is your connection to, where to go, who to meet, how to do things. And that person's probably also lived abroad too. And they come back into the country and now they're doing this. And so they probably have had your same experience. So use your Airbnb. It might be good to send them a tip or something like that, but use your Airbnb to get connected, to people. I've done it, and it helped me. Yeah, and then also, I'm a really big believer in co-working spaces. I believe that that's one of the neglected opportunities that's happening on the continent of Africa. There's a lot of them that are coming up, and a lot of YouTubers are just not talking about them. I was one of the first YouTubers that really put co-working spaces because you have a lot of professionals in one place that could become your first customer or could become your customer, and it can recommend you to something there. And you could start joining these things. Some of their Zoom calls that they have for free. You can join online and get hooked up in communities. You can do a lot of things with co-working spaces. I personally, met people that have helped me make a lot of money. My biggest thing that I made a lot of money was with Upwork. Shout out to my uncle D. Darrell. He's a very good brother. If you're a person that you're into digital products, you're into online business, you can start building your team by getting professionals on Upwork. Upwork.com was which was Odesk at the time. It worked wonders for me. I lost some money investing in it initially, but I got all of the templates for my whole YouTube channel. I worked with the guy for 3 years. And don't be so fast to quit. Sometimes, success doesn't come right away. And you don't all the time measure your, wins and losses in the fact that you're making money. You can see if your product is improving, if things are getting better. People telling you, hey, that looks better. That looks better. It looks, so you want to start the more talent and firepower that you have going into Africa, the easier it is. So when I came to Uganda, I already had Dima, who's from Russia. I already had some sort of infrastructure going for me.
Mm.
You want to have at least some things going for you because Africa is about
Mm-hmm.
momentum. You don't want to get there and then you have nothing and then you're starting to build momentum there. You go there, you make some connections, you come back and you keep your momentum going. You go back, you do it's all about momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to have more firepower, more firepower. Every time I leave and come back, I get more firepower, right? And the more you have, the easier things are. So give yourself more momentum. And this is not, it's not like a measure once, cut once thing. This is a measure and you're always cutting. You're always measuring and recutting and always measuring and recutting. Always measuring and recutting, always measuring and recutting. So it's a lifelong process. And so the good comes with the bad. But I can tell you that if you're going to continue to do it, you're going to be successful because most people are not going to do it. And Africa is the future. It is the future. It's now. So, work with people. If you can hire them on Odesk, they can help you do things. You can start building a team wirelessly online. When you go to Africa and then you start getting physical employees, then you have somebody maybe that can help with the templates. You can help somebody that can, that understands you, understands your managing style, understands the system style. So for me, all of that was already ready when we got there. And so I was still struggling here and there, but now, that system is set up. So it just improves upon itself. So that's what I would say. And, you measure your wins and losses, not all the time in money. And sometimes you got to be the person that gives yourself credit for what you're doing. Some people might not want to do that, but you can tell if things are getting better for you, if your stuff is improving. And if that's the case, you just keep at it. It just takes time. Sometimes it takes time. And that's just what it is.
Good. Some great tips right there for all of us to go home with. And, I think African Millennium want to say something. So we're supposed to end the stream, but
if you want to bring them on, it's fine.
2 minutes. So she can quickly say what she needs to say, and then we'll wrap up. African Millennium, you're welcome. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you, Takai, and thank you, Oshay, for this last minute question. I just had a question. It's not very business related, but I was just wondering, because you're a doctor, right? Like you're studying to be a doctor.
Almost.
So I was wondering, why did you go to Africa? Like, were you a Pan-Africanist? I'm just kind of confused about that. I'm not saying that doctors can't go back home, but I'm just saying, like, it's not like you needed to go. You know what I mean?
Well, so this is a good question because I was living in Europe. So when I would have time off, obviously traveling from Europe to, I don't know, Africa or Asia it's closer than coming from the States. So that's when I got the idea to want to come to Africa. Is when I was, I would have breaks in class and stuff like that. This last time I just happened to get stuck. But I've always had some interest, in Africa. When I was a little boy, I watched the Shaka Zulu movies and stuff. I thought it was real cool. But and obviously, to be honest, in Poland, it's a very homogeneous population of Caucasians. So you didn't get a chance to see Black people, and it's not a very, diverse population here. So there's no Afro-Polish people here for the most part. It doesn't exist. So maybe if I lived in London or if I lived in, maybe Amsterdam, it wouldn't have been so bad. But I was glad to see Black people, right? I got tired of getting stared at all the time. So then when I had the opportunity to go, and obviously the weather here is not nice. So, if you've been to, Central Eastern Europe, then you would understand what I'm talking about. So that was my perspective with, why I decided to go. And then obviously it was fun. It was clubs, food was good, parties was nice and things like that. The ladies were looking nice and stuff. So it was a lot of motivations to get out of here. So that's why I started going.
Okay.
All right. Great. Thanks so much for answering the question. And thanks, African Millennium, for calling in. And, for our brothers and sisters, in Francophone countries, you know, this brother is an amazing brother doing great things in Uganda. So, ce que je peux dire concernant Oshay, il a sa chaîne YouTube, comme je l'ai dit. Il fait pas mal de choses, grand choses, je vais dire, en Ouganda. Donc, je vais ajouter le lien de sa chaîne YouTube. Il a 2 chaînes, en fait. Donc, si vous voulez en savoir plus sur ce qu'il fait en Afrique, spécialement en Ouganda, vous pouvez vous abonner sur Kenganda et vous allez voir exactement ce qu'il est en train de faire. Il travaille avec d'autres personnes et puis il les aide en même temps à créer des opportunités pour eux. Donc, c'est quelque chose que j'apprécie beaucoup. Si nos frères et sœurs vont là-bas sur le continent et puis aident nos frères et sœurs sur le continent, c'est très, très, très important. Donc, il faut vraiment checker sa chaîne YouTube. Et puis, il est aussi sur Instagram. Donc, je vais mettre tous les liens dans la boîte de description. So, guys, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. And Oshay, thanks so much for your time and for sharing your experiences and giving us so many tips. Much appreciated. So, thanks, everyone, for joining. If you are new here, please subscribe and share my content because it's needed. I know, you know, most of the time we like drama, but drama is not going to solve the problem. We need to come together, organize ourselves, and fix things within our community and our global Black family, African family. So thanks everyone for joining, and I'll see you all very soon. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.